Good morning, everyone. It's Tess, and today is tip 434. And today I wanted to talk about some things that I'm listening to The One Thing by Gary Keller. Yeah, is it Gary Keller? I believe it is. But I will share the book, the link to the book in my comments. And the reason I'm talking about this, and it kind of hit me this morning, the weight loss journey historically, most know that I've lost over 100 pounds twice in my life. The first time, I never believed I could do it, and I don't think I was out of the gate at topping the 100-pound weight loss when I was already struggling. I reached 116 pounds, but I started gaining it back almost instantly. Then a period of time passed, probably close to 10 years, and I was facing a BMI of 60, and I had to do it all over again. This time I have to stay engaged so that I don't ever have to do it over again. So I'm continually learning, continually grabbing, continually grasping, trying to understand why I failed the first time and to make sure I don't fail again. And something that keeps recurring to me is the idea that I just have to pick one thing. And ironically, there is a book called The One Thing. And this book, it was interesting because I was listening to the audio yesterday, and I do own the book too. And what it was kind of talking about is what we all need to identify, and I'll share a couple stories. What is the one thing you can do this week that by doing it, the rest of your life or the rest of your tasks will become easier to do? And I think that isn't about that focus, because if you focus on that one big thing, chunk it out, it will allow you to free up to find the next biggest thing and chunk it out. And what it was kind of interesting is they were talking about dominoes, and that if you put one domino, and you know how dominoes fall, that front domino, we will knock down the domino behind it that's 50% bigger than what it is. I see some people on, I'm just not sure who it is, so hello and thank you for being here. But I thought it was so interesting about the domino. A domino will push down a domino that's 50% bigger. So by the end of this trail of dominoes, there's a lot of power behind it. And it was kind of funny because it's back to that one thing. What's the one thing you can do? What can you do to make your life kind of move forward? The idea is that if you if you work on fewer things, you will have more effect. If you work on more things, you will have side effects. And that's what my first weight loss journey was. I had side effects because I was going to the gym 3 hours a day. I was so passionately afraid. I was trying to consume every possible minute of my life in fear of not being able to succeed, and I didn't succeed. And this time I am focusing just on one small thing to keep myself moving forward. And most know about a year and a half ago, "Hi Tommy, how are you doing?" And about a year and a half ago, I started walking steps. And I'm going to tell you, in the beginning, I was under 5,000 steps a day. I think my 2020 average steps per day, and I worked all last year to increase my number of steps. I think I averaged like somewhere between 6,000 and 7,000 steps a day during 2020. And I was focusing on steps. Right now, and I'm not telling anyone to start at this point, I'm walking 15,000 steps a day. The reason I'm sharing this is this morning, I use my phone to count my steps because for some reason when I put a watch or anything like that on my wrist, it will actually break my skin out. Or in some cases, it will actually cause the electronic device to stop working. So I just use my phone. And this morning, I was brushing my teeth, and I have one of those electric toothbrushes that goes for 2 minutes. So I found myself walking around, and all of a sudden it dawned on me, I don't have my phone on me, so this isn't counting steps. It became such a routine for me that I am walking around while I'm brushing my teeth, or I'm, doing something. I'm always finding that place where I can add in a few more steps. And I realized that's why I've been able to maintain 15,000. Oh, did you? Good for you, Tom. Tommy's been part of all these things with me. He's been to the masterminds and been part of Doc V's group forever and a day. So we're all in this journey together and just sharing tips to move forward. But I thought it was so interesting to me when I realized that I'm walking around and I don't even have my phone with me. So building those habits does move you forward, and it's beautiful. When you find your life changing, it's beautiful. One of the other things is be careful of your words. I think I talked about that yesterday. You got to get rid of coulds, woulds, shoulds, and it's I will, I am, I'll find a way. Those words kind of help us pull forward, keeping ourselves in a place of feeling good, being happy and joyful. I kind of talked about too, like it's connected to law of attraction. When you're unhappy and you're worried, your decisions aren't as good, and you fall into that place of, I almost think like the emotional scale, when you're at the worry line, when you would, could, should, you're unhappy, disgruntled, angry, fearful. But if you go, I will, I can, and I'm going to, you get to happy, joy, and love, which pushes you forward. So all these things are kind of linking together, and I'm seeing patterns as I continue to read and study. So this book, The One Thing, it has some great information in it. I loved what they were talking about the domino. It was kind of interesting because in the book, I don't remember who he was referring to, but somebody was saying he had to pull out of his business. Oh, it's called Health. It's a heart on my iPhone, and it's called Health. And it actually has probably always been recording your steps, and you didn't even know it. But it's just a white icon with a red heart in it if you have an iPhone. And it's just simply called Health. Health. And for me, that just works best. I just have to make sure I have my phone with me because my skin just breaks out. It's the redheaded thing. I will say that it was kind of funny in this book. He was referring to a businessman who had to fire himself and find the right people. The one thing he had to do was fire himself and find the right people to run his business. Yeah, there you go, Tom. I thought most people do have that app, and I use it all the time now. And this book, they were talking about a business owner who had to fire himself, and he was kind of frustrated because he was talking to his mentor, and he said, I've got to find 14 people. And the guy looked at him and said, well, Jesus had to find 12 disciples. You need 14 people that will take your life next level. And his business just thrived when he found the one thing, which was he needed to pull out and put the right team into place to move his business forward. So I'm finding that I love this book, The One Thing. So I will link it in my comments. I do have to head out the door soon, but this is another thing. I tutored for a lot of years, and I know that when I tutor reading and math, it's a sequential, repetitive, step-by-step process. In this book, they talked about success is sequential and built one step at a time. So basically, we got to just stop fighting the process and step in and do the process. So I hope you guys find this useful. I'm grateful, appreciate you all very, very much. I will put a link to The One Thing in this book, or in this post, and I hope you guys have a beautiful day, and I'll share more of what I'm learning tomorrow morning. Thank you, and I think I might go live in Dr. V's group tonight. I'll try to make sure I get a post in there for those who are following me in that group. Have a beautiful day, and thank you for being here. Bye-bye.